Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just have a quick question for you all before we start. We're in the middle of creating, not in the middle, but in the start of creating a dinosaur, and I just was wondering, do you want me to make it to a T-Rex or an Indominus Rex, or do you want me to continue on the road with the T-Rex that was the original plan, and make a separate tutorial on how to create an Indominus Rex head, just like this? So tell me in the comments, comment down below. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna start the tutorial. You can use any software that you like. Mudbox, Blender, Zbrush. It's all about the sculpting fundamentals at this channel. It's nothing about all this technical stuff. So let's get right into it. Okay, now it's loading. Yeah, so now we have the T-Rex. And as always, remember to use reference. It's really important. I have some reference up on the side here. And right now, I thought we would start with creating like a better feet. And we're not gonna touch the arms because today, because I don't know if you want me to make this to an Indominus Rex or a T-Rex. So as I said before, comment down below so I know. So we're just gonna touch the head and the feet today, kinda, and some anatomical stuff around the body. So I hope you guys are ready for this, because this is gonna be a very cool looking T-Rex when it's done. Okay, let's just begin now. I think we start with the feet actually. For the feet, I'm using a lot of reference of ostrich feet. It's just because they look very dinosaur-like, and I just think they look awesome. So I think we're gonna go with that. Yeah, and I really like the dinosaurs from Jurassic World and Park, but I don't think they look like anatomically correct all the time. So I wanna make it kinda like their dinosaurs, but take a little bit of my own twist on it. Yeah, just so you guys know. But you're still gonna be it's gonna be really recognizable that it's a dinosaur from like inspired by the Jurassic movies. Okay, let's begin here now. I'm just gonna start by creating some very basic shapes to indicate where I want the skeleton to go. Okay, just like this. I need to really like show it. I want the claws here. You see, here is where I want the claws. And remember to sculpt with symmetry, so you don't need to redo the entire sculpture. Okay, just like that. Nice. Sculpting some like pads at the side right here. And then gonna like sculpt like this S shape here inwards, because it's how ostrich feet look like. I don't know if you say feet or paws to an ostrich. I'm not sure, but yeah, that doesn't really matter right now. So let's continue. Just gonna sculpt in some like detail to really get the shapes going here. It's really important that you get all of this, not details, but they're kind of like the start of mid-frequency, not the like big shapes and not the super small detail, but the shapes that are in between. This is like the start of it, and those shapes are actually, in my opinion, the shapes that actually like make your piece stand out from the crowd, and really take your time and focus on these shapes. Okay, I just think we're gonna make the anatomy a little bit better. I want a pretty nice looking dinosaur after this episode is done, so we have a lot of work to do. Yeah, just like this. yeah, something like this. It's starting to look a little bit cooler now. The underside of the feet, I want it to go like upwards here, and it's really cool actually T-Rex skeletons, because I wait. Just gonna take a reference image just so I can double check it. Yeah, this tower right here, it only has like two small skeletons in it, or big skeletons. This has three skeletons, three skeleton parts. This one has actually four. So it goes 2, 3, 4. It's really interesting. I don't know why, but I just find that really interesting. So make sure that you are very careful with the joints at Dinosaur's foot. And really look at like a bird anatomy kind of stuff, because these stuffs are really just based on birds and different kind of reptiles. The skin is like reptile-like, but you don't want to use like a reptile's anatomy as a base. I've also found it very tricky to find anatomy for reptiles. But use bird anatomy, because if you put like bird anatomy, it's gonna look very correct. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. Okay. Just gonna make the shape a little bit more clear. Something like that. Sculpting it inwards a little bit, just so it gets a little bit more shape. A bit more shape like this, and then here, the calves, just adding them a little bit more. Raising a little bit at the side here. It's really important. Yeah, like this. Then we're gonna add some more muscle mass here. There is actual muscle in between here, but not as visible, so we don't need to focus on them really that much for now. But we're gonna like get these really nice shapes on the legs later. The legs are really important, especially in a creature like this. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions to me, as like, you know, as I always say, comment down below. Feel free to ask questions, and if you guys want critique on your sculptures, please just send them send some images on my Instagram, or or send a 3D model file of your model that you made from one of my tutorials. Send it to me and we can critique it here on YouTube. And critiquing is not to be mean to anybody, it's to help each other. Many people get very protective of their own art pieces, and you shouldn't be that, because we learn way faster if we take critique. It can be hard to hear, but yeah, it's really important to get some critique so we can develop faster. I love critique nowadays. I hated it in the beginning, but now I'm actually liking it. It can be harsh, but like a couple minutes after that anger has left you, then you understand that, yeah, that person was right. It's really helpful to show it to like people that doesn't even know anything about 3D, because they can say like, oh, that area looks weird, but it's maybe not even that area that's weird, it's maybe some proportions around that area that's weird. It's up to you as an artist to figure out what's weird and changing it so it looks better. So take as much critique as you can. Okay, now we're getting some base shapes in the leg, so we're smoothing out, just smoothing out a little bit. It's actually starting to look pretty decent now. Can actually see some dinosaur-like qualities. It's starting to look really cool. And we're just gonna add some more shape, and just gonna take some references, so give me 1 second. Thank you guys. And let's see here now. Oh, sorry, taking some time here. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. I'm using Puref for all my references. It's really good software. It's free. So just download it. Just search on Puref and you can just place your textures inside of that program, and it's really useful. The shoulder muscle indicating more, creating a muscle that goes all this way, and it's also a lot of skin connecting to this area here, like this loose skin, so it's really important that you create that. Yeah, when I started creating 3D sculpture, I've said it before, but I didn't know anything about anatomy, and it just made it very hard to make realistic sculptures. So I really recommend learning some anatomy. So if you, so I'm gonna like probably start with anatomy specific videos where we only go through like anatomy of the leg, anatomy of the arm, and we're not only gonna do that for like humans. We're gonna do that for animals as well, I think, because I haven't really seen people do that, but I think it would be really interesting, because yeah, as you guys maybe know, anatomy is, I love like studying anatomy and muscles and all this kind of stuff. It looks so cool to me, very interesting. So I like to do a lot of anatomy studies. I can tell you that it's gonna be really boring in the beginning, but it's gonna be fun later on. Okay, but now we're just gonna add some more volume to the foot here, making it a little bit slimmer towards the middle, so it looks more like ostrich kind of look. I know it's weird to say ostrich to a dinosaur, but make sure that you get this like not cavity, but this empty space underneath the foot, because that's how it looks on an ostrich, and just makes it look more natural. You know, like dogs and lions has this like pads underneath their feet that makes it easier for them to walk. Actually, like dinosaurs and ostrich has kind of a similar thing, but just more blended into their skin. So it's really important we add that later. Yeah, but I think it's starting to look pretty good out now. Let's add some more volume, and let's start taking this standard brush and carve in some more definition. Let's take the brush and carve in a lot of definition where I want the muscles, like this muscle right here. I want that to be very clearly here as well, like the leg. I want that to be very clearly right here, that part right here as well. Just creating this like change here where we have the head meeting the neck. Make sure that's very like, I want it to be pretty pronounced, at least at the beginning here, so we can then cover it with scales and it's gonna blend in better, but so we still can see where the head starts and the neck ends, if you understand what I mean. That was a little bit too much smooth out. I like smoothing out, but be very careful because it's very easy to smooth out too much. Trying to get the belly a little bit more smooth out. I think the tail looks a little bit weak because this T-Rex would never be able to carry this weight with this small tail. So that just makes it a little bit longer, but more importantly thicker. Thicker tail means more weight, and more weight means it's easier for it to hold balance. Something more like that, maybe. Okay, a little bit better at least. T-Rex and Indominus has actually kind of like similar heads, just that the T-Rex has more like pronounced features, while the Indominus is more like less pronounced, more chill, kinda. We're just gonna add these features here. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Let's now go straight to the overall body and just fix all this anatomical stuff. So let's start with the spine, like more indicating the spine here. Just making this like nice curve here. It goes inwards, just like that. I'm using the clay buildup, but I really recommend if you're more like new to 3D or sculpting that you use the move brush, because this is just a faster method, but it's harder to control. And I'm also really lazy with my brushes. I don't like to change brush if I don't have to. And then we're gonna add at this area here just a nice looking detail. This side of all these ribs and spine skeleton parts that sticks out from its body. Something like that looks pretty good, but here I'm gonna need to change the brush so it can get this more like nice feeling like that. But I really want the leg to feel more like be thinner towards the end here and way bigger here. So I'm really gonna try to work those proportions. Yeah, because it's really important to get all of these like nice flows throughout the T-Rex's T-Rex body. It's a hard thing to do, but come on guys, it looks pretty great when you get all these shapes down. You can see now that the anatomy is starting to fall into place with this T-Rex. I thought about like the next episode. First we need to decide if it's gonna be a T-Rex or an Dinosaur Rex, so comment down below. The next episode I think we're gonna focus on the head. So make sure to comment guys so we can so we don't need to remake the head, because that's gonna take a long time to create. Tail, just adding some anatomy, some muscles, basic anatomy. But it's really fun. Okay, like that. And make sure to like get your friends to critique your artwork. They maybe not know like the answer or the solution to your problem, but they might actually be like seeing that that it is some problem somewhere with sculpture. But never like trust if they're not like professional artists, don't like really good professionals, or that you know that they know their stuff. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So be very careful with what you listen to. It's very easily get the wrong critique and that you go on the wrong track with fixing it. So just be careful, guys. Something like that. You can kind of already see that these shapes are getting pretty nicely now. I know this muscle because this is just basic human anatomy, so I'm just gonna move it like this and get that basic shape down. Okay, like this. And never think that you are like fully taught when it comes to art. You can always become better. I was once time in this like state where I thought I was perfect at everything that I did. That was so bullshit of me to say something like that, because I didn't know a thing about art. Basically, I was very bad at it. I have a long way to go before I'm even consider myself like good at art or sculpture or anything like this. So never like, if you think you're perfect, then you're screwed. So really think about ways to improve always. Like always just trying to improve yourself, your artistic skills. Okay, now we're just gonna make the leg a little bit bigger here. We need to make sure that this actually looks like it's belonged to the leg, so we're gonna make sure. Yeah, like that. Then here we're gonna flattering brush just to get some basic shape down. I think it actually starts to look pretty darn good right now. It's starting to look like Dinosaur at least. Starting to look more like, look a little bit more epic looking now because we got some basic shapes down. At least I think so. Yeah, something like this, kinda. But just keep sculpting it up, making it better and better. Here and here we have this muscle here. Don't forget about the fat, guys, so you don't like carve in the muscles like this. Yeah, it must look like that in anatomy books, but they actually have fat on them, so they become more like this. You see, the muscles are there, but it's covered by fat. You see? Yeah, so be very careful with that. Yeah, but I think it's starting to look fine out actually now. But we're gonna indicate the chest muscles a little bit more. Let's just get this right. I'm gonna pick up a reference picture. Reference picture just like this. Yeah, from here. You can kind of like see chest muscles here that I've added. Pectoralis major. Yeah, just like that. And then we're gonna add a sternocleidomastoid to make it more visible. Connect that up to the sternum. No, not sternum. Clavicle bone. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just like. Yeah. What do you guys think about these like tutorials? Do you want like more of these like dinosaur ones, or what kind of tutorials do you guys want? Because I really want to show you guys how to create many different kind of stuff, and I'm gonna show you a lot when I'm here on YouTube. So I really want to know what you guys want me to post first. Is it more like anatomical stuff, or is it more like how to sculpt another dinosaur? What is it that you want me to show you guys, you know? Yeah, but this... that actually works pretty well. Yeah, like this, and then adding shape down here. Yeah, just like this, and just carving in some more muscle definition here. Carving in some more muscles. Just like that, yeah. This is starting to look pretty... I think it actually is starting to look pretty darn good out now. Do you guys think we should do a text test run now, maybe? Because we want to see how this also looks in more like lighting. So it can be. I think we make a test run in the next episode, so we can see how it looks. Because it's really important. What kind of like choice do you guys want to see? Is it like, yeah, more dinosaurs, or is it more like anatomy based? Okay, let's see here. Let's just change the shape under here and make it more visible. Here, just carve it out a little bit and then smooth it out. Create something like that. Yeah, okay. I work a little bit more on the feet because they still look a little bit weird. But some look way better than they did before, at least. So that's a huge upgrade. Actually starting to get some shape and not just looking like this tubes that's just been extruded. And the toe here on the side. Be sure that you add that one. So here I'm just gonna start with sculpting it out like this. I later on can separate it, but that looks good for now. Yeah, we can add some rib cage right here now. So let's add a rib cage. Just add the ribs like this. Very subtly, or not very subtly to begin with, but we're gonna smooth them out a little bit now, so they merge more into the sculpture. Now you can see them from some angles, and that makes it look way more real. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, like that. So yeah, I think we're actually gonna call this video, like, this episode done now. Oh, wait. I need to just add some more shape here first. Fixing the tail, carving it in a little bit more, and especially here at the top, carving and then smoothing, using those tricks. I'm trying to make the main muscle here a little bit thicker. Something like that. That kind of works actually. Something like that. So I think we're gonna call this episode done, guys. I think actually the body starts looking really good out now. So the next episode we're gonna start with the head. So let me know if you want me to make this to an Indominus Rex or an T-Rex in the comments down below. Yeah, I think this is gonna be, yeah, it's a couple more like episodes to get the full base done. Then we can move on to like teeth, scales, like all this nice detail that just makes it look so cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it here. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like and share this video. I hope you liked it, and bye bye.